Hi guys, you're back with Jay. This is where we left off. That's a loud message. This is where we left off with the broken barrier. I've been away for a week, must apologise. I haven't been able to get back to your messages, people's questions and such. I've been in Devon and I believe there's no internet there. I don't think they've heard of internet. So I've been struggling really, but hopefully the other forum members or anybody else has managed to help anybody else with questions. So, I've just realised this will be the 9th video of this particular barrier, which is a hell of a lot of videos for such a simple model. So this will be the last one in this particular series. I want to move on to bigger things, i.e. I don't know if you've noticed in the new thread, well not the new thread, but in the modelling thread, I've put up 3 options as to which one people want. One of the forum members and moderators, Keith, said he'd like to see me model and animate a box. So when the player walks up to the box, it can open on its own, or the player has to press a button and then it animates and opens. I do want to do that, which is fantastic, but I need to get this one out of the way first. So I'm going to whiz through this one today. Hopefully you guys are up to scratch a bit now. I know we're only 8 videos in, this is a 9th video, but hopefully you guys are starting to find it a little bit easy with the shortcut keys and whatever. So, talking about keys, start display, yeah, that's fantastic. So this is where we left off, got the big chunk missing. Before I continue, we are going to be using GIMP just to help us texture. So if you want to open GIMP now, mine usually takes a while to open, don't know why, so pause the video now, go ahead and open GIMP, and then come back. If you've just come back, hi, welcome back. You haven't missed much. I sat here, not doing much. Okay, so. Oh my god. Who? No, go away. So, I've noticed something about my model. Might have happened with some of yours as well. You'll see on this particular rusty bar, it looks like the normals are back to front. I can actually see through it. I can see into it. It's an easy fix. Just hover over it and press L. It'll highlight it all. Control F, flip normals. Job done. Okay? So that's a nice easy fix if you can see through any of yours, or you can... yeah, you get the drift. Anyway, right, so like I said, this is going to be a quick one. So, to texture this white area that we've cut off, what do we need to do? We need to create a seam around the outside. So nice and simple. Highlight the outside. Highlight the outside edges. Boop, 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 boop. Hopefully you can see the clicks down here. To select more than one line, obviously it's Shift and then click. Okay, all of these are already red, which means the seam's already marked around the outside edge for me, so that's fine. With all of those selected, Control E, mark seam. Job's a good one. So that's all selected, that's fine. So, now we need to UV unwrap these jobbies, the steel bars. So I'm going to go into solid shading for that. And now, the key thing, as I've said before, with unwrapping things, you're going to create seams. You can blend them in as much as you want, but the seams are always going to be there, unless you're a professional, which I'm not. So what you need to do is keep your UV seams as much out of the player's visibility as possible, which is typically underneath. So with these particular rods coming out here, just look underneath them and press and hold Alt and then right click on one of the lines. I don't want that one, I want that one. Superb. So that seam will be as far out of the player's vision as I can get it. So we're just going to be marking the seams underneath these bars here. And then same again on there. Underneath and underneath. There we go. So we're highlighting these round faces as well, because obviously they'll be a slightly different texture to the rest of the bar. Now, realistically, you can put as much detail into this as you want, but these wouldn't be perfectly round. They've been snapped off, so they would be jarred and whatever. But at the end of the day, I don't want to make it too confusing. I don't want to go into too much detail. I don't want these video series to go on forever. So, for all intents and purposes, we're going to keep these perfectly flat. So, Control E, mark seam, and that's all the seams marked for everything I need to mark. Now, you'll notice if I stay on this on edge select mode, you'll notice if I press L, it highlights everything. But if I go into face select mode and press L, it only highlights everything inside the seam we've just created, which is fantastic. So we need to L on those, hover over that and L, 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 L. There you go. That's everything highlighted that we need. So if we go down to the little corner at the bottom here, drag that across, create a new window, select there, and UV image editor. You'll see we haven't got a texture in the background, but we can go image, open, desktop, tutorial files, textures. Which one is it? Let's go with that one. There's the texture, you see? So, obviously, this is all new polygons and vertices and faces. So it hasn't actually been assigned a texture yet. So we need to assign it the texture. So on that we press U to unwrap, and there we go. However, you'll still see it's got the original texture in the background here. We don't want that. And it's going to be confusing, and it's going to be a lot of guesswork trying to guess where we can place these new UVs without getting in the way of the old texture too much. I've just noticed something that I'm not quite happy about. This section, no, is it that section? If you have got this overlapping corner, like I have, it's going to unwrap strangely, and I don't like that. I'm going to go there, it's going to create a triangle, so let's just put an edge on there. See how that works. Okay. Face select, L, L, L. You can actually just hold L and just rub over things. Look at that, L. Okay, so if we unwrap that again, it's unwrapped a bit better maybe, I don't know. Got a very itchy nose. Always when you're recording or doing the washing up. Right, so where was I? Yes, we need to make this texture more manageable so we understand where we actually have space. More of that will become apparent when I do this. Control I. This is what's actually left of the model that is textured. So you can see we've got that space there, that space, all this space around here, all this space in here, and there. Why? What? Why are you not getting involved? If I go to textured, why are you not getting involved with the rest of this? Right, well, obviously you need to be involved. So you can be unwrapped on that one. And then Control I, there we go. So we've got all this space here. So the easy fix for this is with the old textured part selected and the UV selected in here. If you go down to UVs, export UV layout, go to wherever you've saved everything and just save these as damaged UVs. Enter twice to save that. And like I said, we're going to be going into GIMP, so you need to bring in that original texture that you were working with. Let's just say it was this one for argument's sake. Oh, what have I done? Drag it into GIMP. There we go. And then find our damaged UVs, drag it into GIMP over the top of that one. This is where it gets really simple. Make sure that top layer that is the damaged UVs is selected. Go to this color select or select color by tool or whatever. Click that. and then click onto one of these areas here. Click and hold, drag to the very bottom of your screen, and that will just make sure that absolutely all of the UV is selected, like so. Okay, and then click onto the actual texture, Control I, delete, and there we go. Delete that layer. What I'm going to do, just to make it slightly nicer, pick up the eyedropper tool and then hover over a colour, right click N, enter for a new layer, drag that new layer underneath the diffuse, and then with your paint bucket tool, click, just so it gives it a coloured background. It's not important, right click W to merge it down, and then we can go export diffuse underscore damaged. That's not how you spell damage, but it will do. So that's GIMP done and done. So now if we go into this and we go image, open, diffused damaged, there we go, you see. So now we can actually see the space that we have available to us to work with. So with your cursor inside the 3D view, Control I to invert it again. We need to go image, open image, diffuse damaged, just so we're working with the same image. And we can shift space into this area, and then we can work with this. Now you have to remember, this is massive at the moment because obviously Blender's trying to make the most use of the size of this, of the UV space it has to work with. Realistically, it goes from there to there, so it's not actually that big. So we can highlight all of that by hover over and pressing L, and then press with the Shift or S, sorry, and just drag it, move it around, just to get it to roughly the right specification. That looks about right. That's fine. That'll do for me. Kind of looks like a penis. Awesome. I've made a penis. This square here is actually belonging to this section here. So we can move it by pressing G and then Shift. Shouldn't have proportional editing on for this. Is that about the same, right size? Look at that. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. So, that should really be part of... Oh, don't hide it, Jay. G to move. And then I need to see how this one actually links on. What are you linked to? So confused. Oh, you link on that way to that section there, I believe. So you actually have a stray UV somewhere. Stray vertice. Never mind. We can wait with it. All I'm doing here is just positioning this square underneath. I don't know why it's gone off on its own tangent. Don't know, don't care. It's in. So I'm just going to move that there. Now these things are the bars. These bars protruding from the damaged bit. So to rotate inside the UV editor, it's exactly the same in 3D view. So it's R -90, and that's just to rotate it counterclockwise or anti-clockwise if you're British like I am, or should be. Okay, so now we just need to position. I really shouldn't have moved them there, but hey ho, we just need to move these into positions around this space that we have available. So when one of them's highlighted, G to move. I'm just going to plunk you there. It's not really important where you put these, to be fair. Just utilize the space as you see fit. I'm going to plunk you there, and then I'm going to grab you, I'm going to rotate you, I'm going to stick you there. I feel as though I'll get more use out of you there. This is extremely rough and I apologise, it's very rushed. But, oh, We need those bad boys as well. Shift and L to highlight multiple objects inside UV image editor. And that will do. Yeah, that will do. Okay, so that's those done. What we can also do if we really wanted to is bake an ambient occlusion map, apply that, go back to GIMP, apply in a texture. To be fair, I want to keep this quite short. I've already been babbling for 15 minutes. So let's just get this underway. What we're going to do here is we're going to use the texture paint tools in Blender again, just because it's easier. So what I'm going to do the damaged concrete section first. So if we go into face selects, highlight those. Can I hide those in texture paint? Nobody knows. Can I hide you in texture paint mode? So with that selected, we go into edit, texture paint mode. Oh, I can hide them. Fantastic. Great news. Right, here's our stencil set up from last time. Wonderful. Yeah. Maybe it's set up from last time, I don't know. So, can you remember these controls? It's control and right mouse button to rotate it, shift and right mouse button to zoom in and out, right mouse button to drag it round, and then left mouse button over the stencil to paint it. The middle mouse button still controls the model. So, trying to keep this at the same level all the way round. So, once you've got it to a particular zoom level you're happy with, don't touch it. Just rotate and drag it round. That's it. So all we're going to do here is just literally just paint in a bit of texture. Draggy, rotate, drag and paint. Drag and paint. Drag and paint. Rotate and paint. Let's choose a different area. That area's getting boring. Drag and paint. I'm going to use that bit there. Oh, that bit's got a bit awry. So yeah, all I'm doing here is just literally clicking in. Just clicking in the details. Making sure I haven't got too much repetition in the texture. Okay, make sure nothing's stretched. No, that's fine. Let's use U for that bit. You don't have to use this click technique. I normally use my Wacom tablet, but I'm just going to click it in. Like I said, this is going to be a rough and ready tutorial. I've already been through this sort of technique, so we're just going to be not copying it as such, but well, that's exactly what we're doing. We're just copying it. Okay, that's looking average. Rotate that. Just paint that bit in. Click, click. We need to do the underneath. Obviously this is very, very rarely going to get seen. So if we just rotate that round and just literally just on the corner bit there. Let's go. Oh, you're not actually part of this selection. Oh, you cheeky mare. Okay, anyway, let's go back into edit mode. Unselect that. Let's try object mode. It's looking pretty damaged. Can we see any stretching? Can't see any obvious stretching. Still some pretty sharp seams here. But on the whole, I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm going to do the same thing for these iron bars as well. So if we unhide by Alt-H these bad boys, deselect that, just make sure these are the only things selected. Control-I to invert and H to hide. And then we need to change the stencil. So we need to go back to texture paint. Don't need you, stencil. T to bring up your properties here. I don't want you. To bring in the new texture, I'm going to use the same texture that was used on these sections here. Just, it makes sense to use the same texture. So in here, if we just make sure you're on the texture panel here and go down to where this stencil texture was kept, concrete rough, click on the folder icon and then find the rust texture that we've all got, open image. Oh no, not new. There we go, just click on the image in the middle and it'll bring up the texture there. So there we go. Everything should be the same. Obviously, as we all know, that's a square. It's a square, not a rectangle like the other one, but it's made it rectangle here. So click image aspect and it will change the image size and shape to its actual proportions. Okay. So obviously these are going to be a bit more detailed, so we need to go in closer with the texture to get more detail. About there. No? Maybe? About there. And to be fair, I'm just going to go crazy with this one. I'm just going to do that. Oh, it's not actually painting anything. That's fun. Why are you not painting? Bear with me a sec. Okay, so I found my silly mistake. It was because I couldn't paint on them because they weren't selected in edit mode. So what I have to do is go back to edit mode, make sure you select them, go back into texture paint, and you will see that you can go boop. There you go, you see? Lovely. This is all I'm going to do for these. Like I said, this isn't going to be another texturing tutorial. I just want to get something for the finished model, just so you guys can follow along. Oh. Ah, the tips aren't selected, which is always going to be fun. We knew that was going to happen, didn't we? Yeah. Okay. This is probably very boring for you guys, so I might pause the video here and then come back to you once all this is done. Because I'm good like that. I don't want to make you sit through me doing this. Although, as I'm talking, I'm nearly done. Well, nearly done with these two. Yeah, I'm going to pause it here and I'll come back to you once I'm done. Hi guys, back again, and there we go, they're all painted wonderfully. There we go. We could be upside down here. I think we are. No, there we go. So, if we look at the finished model, it's not really finished because it's terribly textured, but it's, we do need to bake an ambient occlusion map really to that. After you've saved the image out, sorry about that guys, just had to disappear for a second. Yeah, after you've saved the image out, you'll be able to quickly do this. What I've done is gone to CG textures, and I've gone to rust leaking, and I've gone for this image here. I've put this address in the description below, so you can just click on that and go to it yourself. So what we're going to do is we're going to stencil in, because obviously it looks a bit bizarre with these things just poking out. It doesn't even look like they're actually poking out. It just looks like I don't know, it doesn't look very realistic at all. So we're going to use the stencil technique again, just to add a bit more realism, just to put a bit of depth around them, so it looks like they're actually protruding from something. And obviously the rust, rain would have been coming down on these, and rust would have leaked out of this hole and down here somewhere. So I'm going to use a stencil technique again, just to add a little bit more to it. So back into, oh hang on, let's select what we need to work with. All we really need is this area. We don't need anything else selected, just the area of concrete, the penis shape in UV editor. So back into texture paint, and we need a new stencil, so let's bring up the properties by pressing T. We need a new stencil in there. Let's come to the texture panel there. What? So, hello? What? Okay. Sorry, I'll just click new, click on where it says clouds, image or movie, open, and then textures. I've already downloaded this one obviously. And then click on there, and it's there. Okay. And it appears to be, that's not the right dimensions for this obviously, so again, to correct the image aspect, click image aspect. Fairly simple. Rotate the image by holding Control and dragging it round. Now these things, gravity will always take its course, so these things need to be coming down as vertically as possible whilst respecting the flow of the concrete. So I need to be coming down from here, nicely coming down here a bit. I don't want to go too much, I don't want to go overboard with this, but I am going to zoom out a bit. It's going to be coming down there. So if I let's click around here and just drag down there a bit. How does that look? Could do with just some finer touches on that side. And underneath there. Boop. Okay, that'll do for that one. Again, all I'm doing is just putting a bit of detail just around the outside of these. I'll just give them a bit of depth. Okay, so while trying to retain that, you just bring that down there. I think that one will work. Okay, so same thing again for all of them. I quite like this one, it has a good effect to it. Okay, and then just drag that down there. You will notice that it does have the white behind the rust, which is annoying. It can be very easily fixed in GIMP, but like I said, I don't want to go too much into detail, and I'm going to pretend that this rust is corrosive and it's having a terrible effect on the cement. So yeah, that's what's happening. It's burning the cement, burning the concrete, sorry. So that's what's happening. With my model, it's burning it. Okay, and just bring that one down there. Alright, so if we go into object mode, let's take a look at that. I went a bit too far with that one. I went a bit too far with Alden, to be honest. That looks terrible. I don't like it. I don't care for it much. So as you've just learnt from me, don't go overboard. It's the finer things in life. Nope, didn't want to do that. Okay, so let's see how awful that one looks. Still looking pretty terrible, but it will do for now. But you get the idea. The rust is going to be gathering around the holes, and it's going to be dribbling down a bit because that's what rust does. Okay, now I'm sure you guys will be able to go in and spend a bit more time actually getting it perfect. Yeah, I didn't do a good job with that at all. But you guys will be able to spend a bit more time, get your model absolutely perfect. As I've said before, I'm done with this model now. I need to be modelling something else. So that's the end of this entire series for this concrete barrier. Thank God. In the next videos, I'm going to be doing some more interesting things with less videos in each series. The next series is going to be how to create a simple box or crate or treasure chest or a munitions case. I want you guys to decide what I create. I've chosen 3 images. It's either going to be a classic treasure chest, it's going to be a science fiction supply case, I guess you could say, or a standard munitions case, like an ammunition case. It's going to hold loads of bullets or magazines or whatever. You get the general gist. It needs to be a box with a lid on a hinge that opens. So I want you guys to choose the next one, what you guys are going to be needing it for, or what particular styles you might prefer. Keith, the moderator, has already suggested that he would prefer the treasure chest. So that's one suggestion so far. If you guys would prefer to see something else, just let me know. Like I said, that's it for now, guys. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, subscribe, leave me a comment down below. But yeah, thanks for watching.